I'm really disappointed in both of us. Do you know why?
No.
We equally literally within like 5 seconds of one another in chat just now. Chat's been a fun time. I'm glad you guys are here to keep Zombie Cup distracted? Question mark? I don't know. But it's always nice having you guys join us in chat, because quite frankly, a silent cast is a boring cast. And it goes for chat as well. This is game 1 in another fresh best of 3 in Copa America. This one's going to be an interesting one though, guys. This isn't a qualifying round, but god damn it might as well be. These are probably 2 of the higher ranked players playing in Copa America, and they've come against each other here in round number 2. Spawning in the top left corner of the map from Complexity Gaming, it's the light blue Zerg player, Hendralisk.
In the upper right, as the red Protoss, it is Gosudark.
But yeah, let's give a little bit of credit here to Gosudark. You know, Hendralisk, I hope Hendralisk did at least his homework to look at this guy's history. You know, we had some funny trolling in the first series of the day, and that guy came in obviously Diamond. You know, Gosudark, previously Grandmaster. Last season, we got to see him in Copa America take the qualifiers. He's one of the few Protoss players actually worth noting, considering there are pretty much all Zergs and all Terrans. Same being the case thus far for this season. But yeah, he's one of the few Protoss players who made it. Sadly got out in the group stages. And this could be a tough cookie for Hendralisk. I mean, he's already taken this a little bit more serious right off the bat. You know, we got a relative pool and a gas timing time ago. No 4th hatchery on the way.
Well, I think he's going to take this a little more seriously. Although we did cast that show match between him and White Raw. Hey, that's a hard name to say sometimes. Where he did just end up trolling. I mean, White Raw certainly is not where he used to be. Yes, but he's still a formidable opponent. He's GM still, right? And Hendralisk still try to do really weird things, which sometimes, I mean, seriously, guys, that's why Ruff, you know, and Hendralisk, and who else does really weird stuff?
Lily Canine.
Lord in a certain, yeah, Lily Canine, that's a good one too. That's why sometimes they actually get, you know, they get the wins, because it is so weird. But usually you think if they're really a good opponent that you're not going to. But I don't know about Hendralisk.
Actually, it's funny you bring up B-Lord. Just give that guy a little bit of respect here. First off, I did ask him, you know, is it B-Lord or B-Lord, right? Like, make sure to very phonetically differentiate the two. And he's like, yeah, it's B-Lord. But yeah, I cast him for WCS, and one of the things he said to me right off the bat was like, or no, it was Red Bull, or maybe it was something recently. God, I've been casting too much. And he says, oh, sad face, my opponent's not Terran, no Ultralisks. He knew. Yeah,
I was there.
He knew that.
I was there.
Yeah. Okay. So like, it's amazing to me because he's like, he knew that that's what he was known for, right? Like that we had made such a big deal about it. So that was kind of cool. But Hendra's gonna barely get a scout off. Maybe one more shot for the Stalker. Not barely in range with the Mothership Core. Denied. Alright, yeah, this is not that big of a deal, but speed is on the way for the Lings, and seeing eat more kind of is. I think one of the big things Hendralisk was looking for in the scout was the wall down, was there a forge in the front lines, and was there a cannon? Seeing none of that's encouraged him to go for here with a little bit of a, well, it starts off as a Ling all-in, but really, this doesn't have to be. For the time being, it is, though.
Oh, this is certainly interesting. It's weird. It's not unheard of, but it is rather weird. Ling all-ins were actually very popular a while ago, especially in Wings of Liberty. I think they were becoming much more popular. But with the Mothership Core, they really fell out of fashion. Well, this isn't an all-in. He is joining behind it. It is certainly a dedication. You don't usually see this much Lings at all. You see a third base and, you know, gas eventually.
Kills the Stalker. Force still goes down. Yo, it's funny because we saw mini-math in the WCS EU qualifiers. Actually taking an entire qualifier doing this tactic. And it was against all races. He's going to try and chip down the rocks.
Yeah, this is why it's so good in this map. And we saw something similar with the Roaches early on against a Terran.
Starbuck versus Ryung, yeah.
Right, exactly. But Gosudark does wall behind it.
Yo, I remember the worst games, by the way. Like, you'll be referencing some really sick stuff that actually happens. I'll be like, I know I cast that game, but I don't remember it. But then it's the weird ones that stick in my mind forever. Like Starbuck Ryung, Lily Canine, versus anybody. I mean, it's just, scumbag brain. But yeah, Hendralisk deterred for the time being. I mean, he could go back for round 2, but I mean, really, you're just going to bleed those Lings out. And as we saw, he decided to take a third behind this. It is about to be punished, though, and he's going to need to go home with these Lings. Now, Gosudark's only got a small handful of stalkers right now. This is not that big of a threat, but if he can warp in some zealots, this will be a lot better. Hendralisk perhaps now aware there's a pylon up there. May not have initially been, but Roach Warren also coming down behind this. So it's not like he's not going to have the tools to deal with an attack.
Before gate into a robo. I wonder if this is going to follow up with. The 4 gate is the first thing that Hendralisk has to deal with, and he certainly does have to be mindful about how he deals with it, honestly. I mean, one of the best ways that...
I think, unlike the other games, he's going to have to take a pretty big hit here. I mean, there's still a lot of zealots here. The force field is actually a little bit misused. Like I say, he could really sandwich himself between the rocks and the zealots, but still a full surround goes off on top of the stalkers. However, nothing here dies, except Zerglings.
I thought something would die for sure. There seem to be a lot of lings, but it looks like the third hatch will go down, and then he can... Well, he can't quite recall yet, but he might just be able to leave, just walk away.
As a Terran player who's spoiled by combination Marines and Medivacs, I don't understand the way lings work in StarCraft 2. Because you see like 80 of them come into a fight, you're like, yeah! Oh, Zealot died!
Yeah, well, Zealots are pretty beefy, so...
They are, in fairness. Time Warp actually goes down instead of an opting for a recall. A bit of an odd choice considering how low this army's starting to get, but looking to really press the issue and try and really take advantage of this, well, quite frankly, advantage he's gained so far.
Yeah. I'm kind of surprised he continues to push forward here, but he's still forcing out units. Hendralisk really not an ideal drone count. He is probing up just a little bit more, but he should stop at 44 if he is going to go for this Immortal Sentry all in.
Yeah, one thing I don't like, he's not really kiting with the roaches either. Started doing it towards the end here, but there's a lot of face time he was giving those zealots, and it's not necessarily something you want to do for those melee guys.
Also important is these Immortals are going to be able to help the counterattack that Hendralisk, you're kind of forced to try and counterattack, honestly, but it usually doesn't work. Oh, maybe he's just looking for the proxy pylon. He will find it, and... actually, he has an Overlord right over, I think. Yeah, he sees all the sentries, so he doesn't even try counterattacking.
Yeah, pretty smart move, too. Right now, what he is trying to do is get as many drones in as possible before he's forced to make a lot of units again. We're not going to see a Spine Crawler while come down, guys. You know, in the first series of the day, it was a bit of a silly thing to see because he was, in fact, trolling. In this particular instance, what he's opting to do instead is get burrowed. I like this 100 times, 100 million times better. This will allow him to circumvent a lot of the force fields. I still don't know any Protoss players, maybe Pig Baby would be the exception to this, who have an observer out early enough to deal with this to complement the push. The idea is to get as many Immortals as possible, as soon as possible, so you don't have room to even breathe out and sneak out that observer.
Yeah. You might get it eventually, of course, but it's usually just not there with the first or even second push. So Hendralisk, the thing is that he's still not really an ideal drone count. Of course, he hasn't been on the third for a very long time. Generally, when you try and defend against an Immortal Sentry lane, you have to have a perfect game up until then. That's why 4 gates or War Prism Trouble is so effective by following it up with an Immortal Sentry lane. Is that they're really not in an ideal production quite yet. But by buying time with Burrow and maybe some free kills, he's really helping himself out here, as opposed to the alternative, which is getting a few more roaches that might not really help out.
Well, this force is looking kind of strong.
Kind of.
I mean, I don't know how to put it better than that. Hendralisk is, with some good micro, maybe going to be able to hold this off. He's kind of setting up a bit of a trap, which I think is cool. Like, what I imagine is he's trying to avoid all the Phoenix passes by and doesn't see the actual roach count because of this.
The actual roach count is not that scary, though. He's finally up about 30 supply, which is where you really want to be. He might catch some of these sentries off guard. In fact, he does. 2 immediately go down. The third one gets sniped without any force fields going down. I mean, that's 3 free sentries, but then again, Gosudark doesn't also waste any of his own force fields. Small counterattack. The Militia Corps is with the army. Wow, whoa, just walking up here. I don't know if I like that Hendralisk let that happen. Okay, yeah, maybe you're not ready to quite take on the army, but now you're just asking for 4 force fields, 2 at the natural ramp, 1 in the main.
Yeah, I was gonna say, was he just trying to force out a base trade in this instance? Like, it's not quite gonna cut it. As you said, the force fields might just come into effect here. He's gonna have to burrow some of the roaches, but not quite enough. Actually, the observers now join the army, so the advantage of burrow is no longer there, and Hendralisk, oh boy, he should have just gone for that base trade. It might have been his best bet to get into this game.
Yeah, certainly. I think so as well. I mean, again, there's no easy option. You either try and take the engagement that you know you're going to lose, or you let them maybe waste quote unquote time killing your natural and going up into your main, but both were just not really good options. It's a very powerful build, you know. Maybe if you handle that first 4-gate as perfectly as ever possible, then this one doesn't look quite as overpowered. But
yeah,
this kind of looks overpowered right now.
This is just Hendralisk. You know, a lot of the times, guys, you see this attack come, and there's Hydras waiting for it, and the Hydra shut this down better than anything else. I think he had the time and the breathing room to do it, despite the third being delayed, but his focus was heavily on the Roaches and Roach play. Now, he's coming across the map. It looks like he wants to end the game here with this. He's brought a couple drones with him, and he doesn't quite have the mineral count, sadly, to build another base. Still mining like crazy off of this one and producing units at every instance possible. Roach is trying to be abusive. The Lings sadly die for absolutely nothing. They gain no value from this. Warp Prism is not going to get made, but scared that could be an immortal. Takes it down very quickly. The overkill on Roaches is so hard to watch. Big recall goes off. Oh, one base versus two as a Protoss. This force field's into the base. Of course, the Observer probably came home too, if I had to imagine. Yep. So there's no chance. GG. Hendralisk will actually fall in game number 1.
Yeah. First mistake, not dealing with that 4-gate very, very well. And then the follow-up is just, it's like just pushing out your build order. Not much decision making right there.
All right, well, guys, we are gonna have to see how game number 2 rolls out. What map Hendralisk is gonna go on. Or, well, actually, it's not Loser's Pick. That's right, it's Veto. I take that back, sorry. So, let's see what their second map's going to be. I gotta go update the score here. Mayan Hyohwali. Where's this thing over here? Oh, no, Hendralisk is not up one. Sorry, buddy. Don't save. There you go. Gosudark, of course, leading 1-0. Now, before anyone gets their panties in a bunch and it's like, yo, Power Protoss, the attack, 4-gate, etc. Zombie did a pretty good job explaining the thing. It didn't really matter that it was a 4-gate with the Immortal Sentry follow-up. It's just the fact that that wasn't dealt with early enough. And it didn't exactly snowball out of control very fast, but it's what really led to that secondary push being as effective as it was. Because if you guys can contemplate for a moment, let's assume for a second Hendralisk held that third, you know? That's the economy he needed to quickly get Hydralisks out, or perhaps focus on Mutas or something else, but of course Mutas never really the response to that particular push. Either way, definitely has to buckle down here. There is no loser's bracket, and it's only one shot to get into Copa America for Season 2. And the big thing too, guys, like Copa America for each of these individual seasons, I believe only has about a $1,000 prize pool. Not that much in consideration, but each of these is also what lets you get to that final season of the year where there's a $15,000 prize pool. It's quite a bit more money. So to have missed the first season altogether, not his fault or anything, but to miss the first season altogether, and if he loses the second season here, it'd be very disappointing for poor Hendralisk. Gosudark, of course, has a small advantage of having already competed in one season of Copa America, but at the same time, for his fans of the Protoss lovers in the audience, don't necessarily want to see him go either. I think as long as the series, you know, as long as the second game isn't decided by some failed cheese on either party's part, I think we'll be in a pretty good spot to go to Game 3, because Hendralisk is a player who can bring this back.
Well, I'm actually wondering if Gosudark is just going to do the exact same build. It sounds a little funny, but the Immortal Sentry All-In is still a very effective one, that even if you know it's coming, it's sometimes still hard to hold off, and Overgrowth is still a very popular map for it.
Well, it's kind of what we joke about, though, really. I mean, no disrespect to Protoss, like, honestly and objectively, guys, but a lot of the time when we make these cracks and we make these jokes, it's because it is the go-to. There's not a better option to fall back on. Like, there's a reason you don't see players fail with an initial attack and try and go Void Rays. Like, Immortal Sentry has been the core sort of strategy since Wings of Liberty, and it's not changing anytime soon because it's so hard to deal with. Now, granted, the problem is, as the name indicates, it is an all-in, and if it fails miserably, you're probably out of the game. Oh, I hate not being on my account. I always want to do like the Serbain emoticon every time I see Nathanius in chat. Alright guys, Overgrowth for map number 2. Oops, I actually didn't set the map intro. One sec here. Alright, we'll see you guys here in a sec. Right, nope, that's the caster screen. Ah, don't look at us! There we go. Welcome back to game number 2, guys. Currently down 1 at the moment. Let me swap those names around so that's accurate. Spawning the top right corner of the map from Complexity, Sound Blaster. It's the purple Zerg player, Hendralisk. And, you know, we're talking about Cheese deciding the fate of this game.
Oh, it's one or the other. And the bottom left, as the red Protoss, it is Gosudark.
So I really truly think, actually, in terms of difficulty in StarCraft 2, I kind of feel this is a lot easier to hold off as a Zerg player than a 4-gate. I mean, this has the element of surprise, and Hendralisk might be going hatch first by the looks of it. Nope,
I think it's fallen off a lot, I think, ever since people have shown, like the same with the 4-gate, actually, the 1-base 4-gate, that with good control and like just, you know, having practiced it enough, you can deal with it no matter what you do. If you go for a hatch first, you can deal with it. Apparently, if you get a fast third hatch like Jaedong did, you can also deal with it perfectly fine. Like, when you see that, doing it against what could potentially be a 15 pool, like, you're just like, it's not worth it.
Yeah. We'll see, though. I mean, this is still something that can't go miserably wrong. Hendralisk is going to scout this. Yeah, first Zealot's coming out right away.
It's actually a 1-gate, yeah. So it's not nearly
did he
as
cancel?
dedicated.
No, did he cancel? Because he definitely had another building, unless I'm that crazy.
Well, let's look at his resources lost. 37, so yeah, he did.
Okay. So, here's what's going to happen, guys. Spine Car's going to come... Yep, Spine Car's going to come down immediately within the mineral line. You can actually kill this first Zealot without taking drone losses. As long as you don't fight him in the mineral line like we just saw. You have to get the surround, of course. There we go. And then you mineral lock the weak drones away. Whoever does lose 1 drone so far. There we go. Mineral locks the other one back. Third one goes away, and he loses 1 drone for this. He can kill the probe too. And I quite frankly think Hendralisk is good to go.
That almost killed the drone. Hero probe.
Yeah, the probe was trying its hardest. Now he's going to go for the pylon if possible, but of course realizing the Zealot's in his base. Oh, he actually decides to cancel the spine. He's feeling really confident about his position.
Well, he saw that it was only 1 gateway, and not a second one. Gosudark, getting a forge. I was wondering if he's gonna like try and follow it up with that.
Look at this.
Cannon.
Hold position all you want, buddy.
But it's just gonna be for an expansion. I kind of, if you're.
I feel this is too late though, because Hendralisk can come across the map with slow lings. He actually, if he ignores this and goes, he sees that the forge is only just completing. The wall off has to come down fully and entirely. It's not gonna cut it to simply put this down. And the worst part is, he doesn't know this is coming. Gosudark just assumes Hendralisk is going to try and deal with the gateway. But he's going to bypass it altogether.
Yeah, it's not like you're buying time until the Militia Corps arrives, right? Like, that's so far off, because Zarmak's not anywhere near on his mind. The Zealot going to try to do what it can. Well, if he focuses... Oh, she's going to focus
he's going to lose like 2 lings at most, and these lings can deal with the 1 Zealot afterwards. Probe's actually being pulled out a good call, because Gosudark would lose this game straight up without it. However, they get a little bit too late, and the Zealot still goes down, and Hendralisk... Oh, Hendralisk. This is what I was talking about specifically, guys. Like, we could see this go to game 3 depending on that failed cheese. GG.
Yeah, I don't like the decision to do a 2-gate. I think 2-gate is fallen out of favor for a reason. You know, that Gateway Forge thing is probably better, or any other all-in cheese.
Honestly, I thought the single worst part about that was the indecisiveness. Like, why cancel one of the gateways? Like, what was there to say? Like, okay, you know what? I feel a little bit shaky. I don't want to... Like, no, I don't know what's going through Gosudark's mind. But when you go for a build like this, guys, anything... You know, when you consider something's all in, you have to dedicate to it. There's no halfway all in. You know, there's no 1 foot in and 1 foot out type thing. It's kind of like 1 gateway in and 1 gateway canceled. I think that could have been better, honestly. I guess the reason was he got scouted. Got a little bit spooked, my best guess. Either way, game number 3 coming at you guys. It's tied up now 1-1. And the map's going to be King Sejong Station. And I can show you guys the Lich King I found on this map, actually. Every map, as far as I'm aware, has at least like one kind of cool Easter egg on it. This one has the Lich King frozen in ice. There was a version of it... Well, Polar Knight had that as well, but it was big and it was really obvious. This one is really well hidden, to the point where I've been casting this map for months. For seasons at this point, and I had no idea where it was until this morning by total accident.
Can you still hear me when I'm like this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't know if you're doing anything different, so I'm not looking at the camera right now.
I'm leaning back up against my headrest that I installed.
Oh, well.
It may look really awkward on screen,
you know what?
But...
I think I can hear you actually better than normal like that. We need to figure out the directionality of your mic, because, God, sometimes, man. Anyways, game number 2, King Sejong Station. We'll see you guys here in a sec. Alright, welcome back to Copa America, boys and girls. If you're just joining us, the score is 1-1 in this best of 3. And once again, while this may not be a qualifying match, gosh darn it, it might as well be. Because these are probably 2 of the better players to actually head off in today's qualifier. This, of course, the last qualifier for Copa America, and we'll see how this goes. For now, though, spawning here in the bottom right corner of the map, from Complexity, it's the purple Zerg player, Hendralisk.
And in the upper left, as the teal Protoss, is Gosudark.
I'm not gonna lie, guys, I'm loving, once again, chat today is awesome. You know, we don't really have a crowd, we don't do live events, so we kind of pay attention to chat from time to time, and you guys have been stellar. And all these people are shouting like, "Go Canada!" You know, I just start singing it in my head with "go" instead of "oh." But before I reveal the Lich King that I've been nerding out so hard about, do you have any guesses, just like random stab in the dark, where he could be hiding on this map?
Hold on.
I'm fairly certain I'm the first person to notice this too, because usually there's like an Easter eggs like post and listening, like on TL, and I've never heard of this one yet.
Well, it's really hard for me because I don't know how to swivel my camera.
Well, to clarify too, just while Zombie takes a gander, guys, she's saying the Lich King is, of course, Arthas, frozen in ice. Well, now it's technically Bolvar, but this is, of course, before all the Warcraft lore. But yeah, the Lich King is not the Lich King from Adventure Time, and Hendralisk is not totally trolling here with this move. I said it before when we saw it in the first series today. This is a legit move, guys.
I'm not even paying attention to the game. I'm playing,
yeah, you're looking for the... Okay, just put your camera on mine. Are you put your camera on mine?
Fine, okay.
Okay, so earlier today I was talking about like this little pathway up here on the top right, and I was like, oh, you know what'd be cool if this bear went inside the cave, because there's like an Ursidon out here. But when you rotate and look at the cave, there he is!
Oh,
hidden in ice in the back! It's so cool!
I can never see that.
It's so cool though that they like...
What's in the other cave?
You can't actually swivel. I don't think there's a cave down here actually. It's just like bones. So it's not totally a symmetrical map.
Oh, okay.
But I thought that was so cool because I was like, just totally being ADD, you know, all over the map, bouncing around. I'm like, oh my god, it's the Lich King! Arthas, my lord, frozen in ice! But okay, there's your cool Easter egg, guys. Very few people know about this. Now you know about it too. Congratulations. But anyways, Hendralisk, you know, 3 hatch before pool. This looks silly, guys. He's got the gas that even came down before too. But once again, this move is fantastic. I think this, as we saw, he tried to take the Nexus. Unlike Zerg players, a Protoss player cannot leap forward or leapfrog forward to that third base and just simply take it. You're not secure enough. Your army value won't be strong enough. You have to take your natural base back.
We actually have 2 gateways. Yes, we have a 3-gate following behind this. So I wonder if he's gonna put down a 4th gate. Now we saw it from a diamond player, so you guys are probably like, haha, diamonds, like that's their response, is to just like all in. But it can work actually just from this sheer surprise. Even if Hendralisk is not going for 5 hatcheries before pool.
Diamonds are forever. I've learned that from TV. He actually gets some lings out of this, which I think is incredibly fantastic.
Oh,
the broodlings come too.
With 2 stalkers. Today I learned.
Yeah, I think the thing that was more important, there's a lot of extra free DPS. If he had stayed to fight with the stalkers, the broodlings would have given Hendralisk a very distinct edge. But he kills the pylon. Nice little catch here. Backs on away. Let's not forget, guys, it's not only supply blocks Gosudark, but now he can't put a forge down here and get a SimCity rolling. Well,
he doesn't want to. It is, in fact, a 4 gate, so haha, diamond. Haha, Centaur versus Blink Stalkers. Right?
I like how this is so like in your face from you. You're just like, ha ha! Like it'd show you. But the links are actually gonna get up here to catch this. Now he's fully aware it's a 4 gate. We got spine crawlers already coming down. And the thing about a 4 gate, guys, is you cut probes to make this happen. All this time he's wasting mining, all the time he wasted killing that hatchery, and all the probes he's gonna lose here to these lings. This is all devastating damage.
Whoa, whoa! When did he get that in there?
I have no idea. I just peered over too. This is going to be a little bit hectic for Hendralisk. He pulls drones, not early, but in fact just on time, because he doesn't have the army value to deal with this. There's speedlings and they're coming out, but not very fast. Those spine crawlers came down to the natural, and oh, he's not going to be happy he let this happen. But he is starting to clean it up. Well, he pulls the drones back too. He pulls the drones back.
He just starts hacking, something over there, trying to kill that pylon.
Okay, this is the force fields are kind of an interesting move to force field off the ramp, but he doesn't. Is City force fields queens? Question mark?
Hendralisk is killing so many probes though. He killed 13 probes.
Oh my god, Gosudark's not mining, so even though he can warp in, he can't warp in. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying, Zombie Grub?
I do.
This is it. GG. Wow. Those 4 lings. Guys, those 4 lings were such a big deal on the other side of the map. They came from those eggs. That proxy hatchery that looked useless, fantastic, and won him the game. You know what, you don't get a lot of 4 gates that are that dynamic, if we're going to be honest. It's usually pretty straightforward. Either it works or it doesn't. Not that the something else influences it so it can't work. So cool stuff. Good game and a nerdy Easter egg revealed to all. Congratulations to Hendralisk. A little sad to see Gosudark go down, because once again, he was one of the few Protoss players from Season 1 who did manage to qualify. But that was not going to be an easy match for either player coming into it. There's really not a lot of evenly matched players in the qualifiers, guys. Quite frankly, we've to date always seen a bit of a discrepancy. Some good games do come, but some really one-sided ones as well. But that was definitely one of the good ones.